Morning guys, we have finally arrived to the Googs Track in South Australia. We are at the dog fence, which is pretty much the beginning of the Yumbarana Conservation Park. What's ahead of us is 120 kilometres of sand dunes and ruts and a lot of goodies and a bit of fun for the troopy. So we'll spend probably 2 or 3 days out here in the wilderness. There is nothing out here except a lot of mallee scrub and a lot of sand and a lot of sand dunes. There are 363 sand dunes to get through before we get to the other side, which is the French line, I believe, some train line, I forget what the name of it. And then we head back east and then down south back to Ceduna and on our way to Perth. So we're pretty excited to be here. We've been waiting a while. This is our first off-road adventure since we've left Brisbane, and there's an ominous sign here that says that this fence is to keep, obviously the whole place is baited to keep the wild dogs out of the farms on this side of the fence. But it says it's electric, so I'm going to find out if it's electric. I'm hoping that the gate isn't. And I was certainly kidding. Never mind. I just thought I'd play around. But anyway, I shouldn't have done that because it was the first time I touched it, and if it was real, Ian would be pissing herself laughing.
Already jolted.
Anyway, we'll give you some footage as we go through, and we hope you enjoy the adventure with us. If you come across a gate that is open on a track, leave it open. If it's not, close it once you have driven through it. Well, we're 50 k's into the Googs Track and we have reached Goog Lake. It is as you can see, a salt pan. It's salt crystals down there and apparently quite tasty. So we're going to have a bit of a hike through this place and try some salt. That ahead is Mount Fink. That is our destination for the day. I reckon about 10k. The current speed will take us another half an hour to get there, and we'll stop in and have some lunch. The terrain here is all mallee scrub, plenty of sand dunes. It's actually quite pretty. The dirt, well, the sand here is getting darker. The further we go inland, the darker it's becoming, and it's quite pretty country. It still baffles me to think that, people thought, you know what, let's run a road through here and see what we can create. It's quite an amazing feat to think that somebody just built this road or track. And on the top of that Mount Fink too, there is a time capsule which we want to sign, put our names down and be a part of that creation. It's our first night at camp and we're having dinner. We are having steaks for dinner tonight. We've had to cook outside on this side of the car because the wind's just gusting. Leanne's keeping my seat warm. She's that cold she won't even get her shoes. Morning! We are here at the Googs Track. This is day 2 for us. We have just slept well, although freezing cold. We have the tent ready to go. We've packed up already. We're just about finishing breakfast. We just got to put the pillows away and all the rest of the mess, and then we'll be off to hit some more dunes. I dare say the next section of road between here and Mount Fink is going to be pretty testy on the car and our skills. So it should be good. you can see the conditions are fined up a bit. It's actually quite nice. We're hoping for some warmer weather because it was cold last night, and we're hoping for warmer weather.
We can get enough build up to get over the top in full high, and it looks pretty soft up the top. Let's give it a shake.
We're at the base of Mount Finke, and we had a greeting party waiting for us. I think the group that was with us at camp last night came along for the ride as well. We have, I don't know, 4 trillion, billion, quadrillion, gazillion something flies around us. They are just unbearable. Ooh, see, just got one. However, we will move on and get to the top of this mountain and sign that book.
Yep.
To say that we've accomplished it, and then move on to our next camp, which is probably about 10 k's down the road, and where it appears we are alone, which is great. There were some people here having lunch, but they've gone off and they're going to a pub which is about 80 kilometres out of the park. And so yeah, we're just finishing our cuppa, and we've got to work out how to get up there, because there's no paths, there's no designated pathing or marks or anything, so you just got to go for it and have to Christ you find your way up there and back in particular. So yeah, we'll see at the top. Well, we're just going up Mount Finke. We don't know which way to go except up. There's no designated path, there's no arrows, there's no paint marks, no flags, just rock, shaly, slippery, sharp, and of course, to finish it off on either side, spin effects, which I've learned that are awfully sharp. It was one mean climb, I've got to tell you. It was very rocky, very tough and very steep, but we made it in one piece. The only injuries we really had were the spinifex grasses. They are super sharp, very painful. Anyway, we've come across this mound of rocks, and the significance of this rocks is basically commemorates one of the first pioneers that actually came through these areas way back in the 1800s and 19th century. And it talks about Ernest Gills, the explorer, and his assistant, Jesse Young. And they came through here on the 4th of June 1875 for the 4th time. So what people have been doing since that time is, in commemoration of these two explorers, every time they've climbed up here, they put one rock onto this, added to this pile, and this plaque was put here obviously some time ago, and it started with this rock and it's slowly building up. So we haven't put our rocks up there yet. I got one here and I'm about to plant it, 1 inch higher, and Leanne's about to do hers.
I haven't picked one.
You choose one. Oh, these flies. There we go.
And one for Mitty.
One for midnight, okay.
Just a little grey one.
A little old one.
Little grey one.
It looks like a little rock in the shape of a kitty cat, yep. Alright, so here we are. We've accomplished Mount Finke. The views are magnificent. I mean, we've gone from basically on the other side of that horizon, because at the end of the horizon is the beach, the Southern Ocean. And up ahead, up down to the left, you can see that white sandy patch there. That's actually the Lake Goog, which is obviously a dry salt pan. And it's actually not as windy as I anticipated up here. I'm glad we changed clothes, because we were in the car dressed for winter, and up here it's quite steamy
And there is the time capsule that Leanne is pulling open. And I understand this capsule was built back in the 60s, I think 63. What's the first one? The very first note.
Oh, I'd say there's another book in there as well.
So what's the earliest signature?
On here, 06.
06. Oh, there's others in there.
Yeah, this came, we saw, we climbed. So this is.
We're just going through somebody else's diary or book.
This book was donated by Mark Luke and John Brockhurst of the Adelaide Four-Wheel Drive Adventurers Club. There's a few people have just added things, car clubs and stuff.
Right.
Rubbish.
I've used it as a rubbish bin too. Always nice to see. Right. Alright, so the idea is to put our details to date. Today is the 29th, Saturday. This nice sunny Saturday. We are halfway down Mount Finke. Kind of lost our way a little bit because there really isn't any indication as to where the path is. It's basically limestone covered mountain and it's very slippery. It's all shale. There's spin effects everywhere. But there's our destination down there. There's the car. So we still have a fair way to keep cracking along this, what I might call a goat track. I know Leanne has other words for it, but onwards and downwards, literally. Alright, so we conquered Mount Finke. We're just back in the car now, making sure we've got all our fingers and toes. To tally, I think Leanne twisted her ankle twice, I twisted mine twice. I went for a trip just as we reached the base of the mountain. On the way back down, I went for a trip and thankfully...
Face plant.
I found, yeah, face plant. I've got a nice big rash along my arm.
I even asked if he was okay before I laughed, so
Yeah,
I scored points.
yeah, she held her composure for at least 5 seconds before she lost it. And yeah, so that was nice because I actually fell on a bed of
Spin effects.
spin effects. So that was a nice thing to break my fall. So instead of breaking my knee with limestone rocks, I got a shin and knee full of needles, sharp ones. They bloody hurt. I've never experienced these things before, and they're horrible. Bloody horrible. Anyway, we're off to camp, and we'll pitch up and make a cuppa and settle in for the night. It's getting on dark, so we're just pitching the tent by us. We're getting ready for dinner, and hopefully the owners of this property don't mind because we literally just pulled up on the side of the street. Probably can't see the street. It's over there. The roads here are horrendously corrugated. I mean, we've done some off-roading corrugated roads, but this is a joke. Honestly, I'm gonna have to have a good look at the car and all the nuts underneath the car tomorrow morning because I swallowed a fly. Hija de puta carajo. Excuse me, but I tend to swear in Spanish when I get cranky. Anyway, there's my protein for the night, darling. So anyway, here we are. We're having a great ball of fun here with these flies and the sunset and the beautiful trees and the scenery, and it's just, the serenity is unbelievable. It's beautiful. Morning, day 4 on the Googs. We are well and truly out of the Googs, but we are somewhere between Kingunya and Warilla, I think it's called, which is out in the boondocks of South Australia.
what we discovered after finishing the Googs Track itself, the sand dunes, and when we got to the Trans line, we found that, and we knew that we had to go east to Tarcoola and then from there head south to Kingunya, and then from there it was a short trip back to Ceduna. The knucklehead at the information centre at Ceduna failed to tell us that it was actually a 900 kilometre round trip. So we've blown a day. We've stayed here overnight on somebody's property. We hope they don't mind because we just pulled up on the side of the street. We had a terrible night's sleep. The wind was atrocious. So we decided to get up a bit earlier and head off and get to Ceduna in about 4 hours.
Go and have a coffee.
Have a real coffee. There's a lady there that makes good coffee, and it's the only coffee in town. And it had
Dolphin Cafe. If you're ever down here, Dolphin Cafe.
Yeah, head down to Dolphin Cafe. So anyway, all ready to go, and we shall hit these corrugations yet again, and hopefully the car stays in one piece, along with our sanity. Just pulled up along the side of the trek to a salt lake, and it's completely evaporated, so the only thing left in the salt pan is the salt crystals. And it's quite visually, it's a stunning looking place. See, there have been kangaroos floating around. See the tracks along there. I'm just going to, it's quite, the deeper we go into it, the softer it is. But I'm going to actually try and get my fingers into it. And yeah, it's salty. It's got to be good for your eyes. It's natural. It's not refined. Just need a bucket of chips, water chicken. It's quite nice. There's a bit of dirt there, probably won't eat that bit. But yeah, for miles, it just goes on and on and on. And it's just getting deeper as we go further into it. So we're going to walk back to the car, hop in and head back to Ceduna. Hopefully find a nice place to have a cup of coffee. So we'll